pissed me off about the rain delay.
Oh, I thought you were going to say that the producers didn't also join us in the stairs because this is supposed to be a foxhole situation.
Hey, brother. Hey, I don't know about hitting them stairs. Maybe I could have dropped down, hit 10 push-ups with you.
That's 20.
Stairs.
We do 25.
Oh, the 20. Ooh. All right, well, look.
10? What are you?
Yeah.
Like 8?
Well, hey. No. So I can't believe y'all like doing stairs because that used to be the worst thing I hated doing.
I mean, nobody said we sat here and liked them.
I'm about to say, bro, stairs was the worst. Well, I play high school football. I didn't play college ball like y'all. I ain't Captain Meathead. I wish I was, but stairs was brutal. Like especially when you get that first rep and now it's all hot and steamy in there. You can't even breathe. People falling down the stairs. We running up. Like, oh, terrible. Indian runs too. I hated Indian runs.
It's usually going down that's the worst.
Yeah, down's bad on the knees.
Yeah.
I'm bad. Like your quads are already shaky.
Yeah.
Now you got to keep yourself up.
We ran Tiger Stadium a couple of times. It wasn't something we specialized in.
We did it more probably the year before you got there because our main facility was at the stadium.
Yeah.
Your first year we had
we were still in Tiger Stadium.
Were we really?
That was our sophomore year that we moved over across the Ponderosa. Yeah, so we remember we took the old prison buses.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, Bo Davis was the bus driver, and now Saints defensive line coach.
I just can't remember if
he hit every single curb from the stadium to the practice field.
Oh, well, there's a lot of them.
Yeah, he didn't miss any of them.
They've cleaned that up, but yeah, those are the white buses.
Ooh, those are definitely prison buses.
They were prison buses
for
sure.
Prison buses.
God, I remember just sitting there, and I'm young, I'm a freshman, and just like when I would see the veterans in their face and how miserable they looked about what was about to go down, I'm like,
I'm pretty sure, this is during August heat too in the morning. I'm pretty sure Bo Davis would go down and close all the windows and the door to get it as steamy as possible as he could. Because the first thing we would do when we got in there, we'd like immediately, it was the old school bus, like, you had to pinch the sides of the top and then like pull it down.
And then you and we used to walk back every practice to the stadium because we didn't want to get back on those buses.
It was like the whole thing of old school training camp was just to mind F you.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
How much can I put on your plate?
Yep.
And how much can you handle?
I'm going to break you.
Yeah. I'm going to try to break you. You're not always going to get it done, but I'm going to try. And the ones that can't handle it are not going to be here very long.
And that's the point, right? That's the old, they don't do it as much anymore, try to weed out the weak, but that's what it was.
They can't anymore because guys will just take their bag and go home.
Just leave.
But looking back at it, ooh.
Hardest thing you ever had to do at LSU, conditioning-wise, like all-season workout. Because sneaky one was the ramps of Tiger Stadium. That was a sneaky one.
Yeah.
Wasn't the hardest, but it was sneaky.
It was sneaky hard. The hardest thing, so the first fourth quarter we had, that's got to be up there. It's got to be like top 2 or 3 moments. No, I'm pretty sure. I only did it 1 year, like the full-blown with Moffitt running around. And Saban running around yelling.
Trash
so the
cans.
Fourth quarter, and that was
trash
so they
cans
would
down
put
the middle of the field.
Yeah, they would put trash cans in the middle of the field. They'd put them all over the sidelines, and those were there for your throw up because when you got so tired. Yeah, we had to do some just crazy. I can't really explain to you the workout. It's been a long time, but we ran a lot of curves. We ran a lot of 110s and gassers and things, but it was there to make you break. And I would say there was probably each day was probably 20 to 30% people puking, probably.
Good number.
On top of that, it was, the 110s always kind of got the headlines for like the hard thing. That's the conditioning test. And, sometimes you'd have to run, the conditioning test was 16 110s, but sometimes during the workout, depending on if somebody was coasting through the line or false started or whatever, you have to run an extra.
Remember though, when we first got here, we started at 26 and worked our way down every
That's right.
week.
The first week was 26 and 24. But also the rest time also went down with that. 'Cause it started at like a minute rest and you go to 55 to 50.
Yeah.
And all it built you to the conditioning test, which everybody had to pass, which was 16 110s with 45 seconds rest. And depending on what position group you're in, you had to run each one in a certain amount of time. It was 15 seconds, 16 seconds, then 18 for the lineman.
18 for the lineman, yeah. And when I tell you, and he might be listening, he might be back in town. When I tell you that Moffitt knew that us two had figured the system out and he hated it.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
And I mean this, if there was a Hall of Fame of 110s, us two are captains.
Your boys were on it.
We had it down to an exact science where we finished the finish line at 15 every single time. And if you had a
Like
stop
15.99.
if you had a stopwatch, it would have been the same time on every single race.
Yeah, so we had to be under 16 seconds.
Ooh, you cut
So
it close.
because we were mid skill.
Yeah.
And yeah, if you had a
Yeah, but
stopwatch,
we had it though.
We were
Right.
coming in. We were coming in that finish line between 15.75 and 15.95, like every rep.
So,
and
you
we would
starting out
switch.
fast?
We'd switch out. So, like Flynn would start the pace,
Yeah.
and so we'd be talking through it, like
Wow. and you
sprint,
talking?
coast,
Yeah.
glide.
Glide.
And
Yeah.
then we knew there was a 3-step process.
Yeah, and you couldn't do that during the workout because it was a big like finish through the line. You couldn't like be
Yeah.
slowing down at the line. But when you were actually on the clock,
Yeah.
it was you would hand behind the line and you'd go, and we would. It wasn't like a full blown sprint, but it was like 90%, 90 to 95% to our own 40, 45 yard line. And about 30 yards of slowing down, and then the last 10 yards was basically like walking and timing it up to where the guy, the strength coach with the clock was about to say 16.
Yeah.
And then we would finish.
Yeah, and again, like Moffitt's our boy, but he knew, and he didn't like it very much.
And it was usually
had to
at
figure it
4
out.
p.m.
It was a
when we were-
4 p.m. workout class. He was already pissed that we weren't there at 6 a.m. Yeah,
4 p.m., man.
look,
In the middle.
yeah, if you can do it then, you can do it anytime. Anybody can do it at 6
It
a.m.
was either 7 a.m. or 4. Who gets up and does stuff at 7 a.m.?
I would much rather the 4 p.m.
Yeah, we were 4 p.m.
Even if it's a little hotter, I'd rather the 4 p.m.
A
A
little.
little hotter.
So-
It's sizzling outside.
And look, we're going to get to mailbag at some point, but I've told this story on air before, but we always have new listeners. There was never a more miserable day than when Jimbo Fisher and Bo Pelini got in a pissing contest, and we were running perfect 40s
40s.
after practice. And perfect 40s for less, like they had to be, a certain order. Like the 3 guys in line had to be like hand, like football ready stance, like,
Yeah, get to the
hands,
line, hand down.
knee, like everything like had to be in position. The guy that was running had to be hand behind the line, perfect position as well, whatever.
Yeah.
Perfect. That's why they're called perfect 40s.
And this is after practice.
It's after a training
after
camp.
like a training camp, ass
True
kicking.
two-a-days.
Yeah.
The first
True two-a-days.
the first practice.
Soap.
Yeah, so
right?
like, and everybody in line had to. So what was it? Was it like ready? What was the? I can't remember
Yeah,
what they
something
said.
like that, yeah.
But everybody had to break down like in line with their knees bent and like their
Yeah.
hands to the side,
yeah.
like in
Yeah,
a
yeah.
football ready
Yeah, yeah.
position.
Ready?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It had everything had to be perfect. But like, look, we had figured it out. We've been doing it all off season, whatever. And so, we just had a full padded training camp, get after your ass practice. And so we're running these 40s, and I don't remember, maybe you do, I don't remember which coach called out a star player on the other side first.
So let's set this a little bit more of the stage here. Everybody has a line. This is our like stretch lines from
Yeah.
pre-practice. So you got your quarterbacks in a group, you got your receivers, your running backs, offensive line on one side of the field. Then it's all the defensive people, and it's the defensive line, defensive ends, linebackers, cornerbacks, safeties, all in their own individual lines. And that individual coach is running each line. So like Jimbo would run our line.
Yeah.
So he was the quarterback.
Yeah, Larry
line. And then-
Porter would run our line. Yeah.
Exactly. Stacey Searles or Stud would run the offensive lines. Yeah, y'all get it. So they would be the
Yeah.
judge of each line.
Yeah, of their group, their guys.
Ooh, I see what's going on. I see what it's been.
Well, I don't remember if it was.
I believe it was Bo.
Okay, so Bo called out. Was it early?
I think it was, yeah.
So Bo
Bo.
Pelini called out early Doucette.
the receiver.
And when we
Receiver.
say calling out, they were like,
Yeah.
early
Yeah.
Doucette didn't finish through the line. It
Yeah,
wasn't
or
sprint. It was
early
like-
Doucette hand wasn't behind the line or whatever it was. He called it out, right? And that never happened. Like defensive guys never called out offense never called out defense. And so when Bo Pelini called out early,
Stepped across the line.
Jimbo
Yeah.
Fisher. Jimbo was ready. Oh, really? You're gonna okay. So
Early?
the next one, Jimbo Fisher, Glenn Dorsey didn't finish. And we're like, putt? Like, what?
And
So
we-
they don't count.
Yeah,
And you got to
don't count.
get
Redo it.
you got to
Yeah.
get perfect 40s, full speed, 10, full
Every-
pads,
everybody.
Everybody.
every swinging soul in there.
and
then-
we're exhausted, right? But our wheels are starting to turn. Like we know
Yeah.
what just happened right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
And we've been around these coaches long enough to realize this ain't going anywhere fast.
No, nobody's going to back down.
Nobody's backing down.
Oh, my God. And then it turned into Hester, didn't finish. Craig Stelz, false start.
Yeah.
I mean,
Flynn,
calling out
loafing.
calling out I'm talking
I
about
was puking.
every big name player that you can think of.
Yeah.
Richard Dixon, false start.
Oh,
This
man.
went on and on.
How many
and
did y'all
on.
run?
And then Jimbo and Bo are just yapping at each other. I mean, just getting after each other. And
It's too
like
much.
every starter that you can think of on a national championship team,
Craig Stelz, who
Got-
would never loafed in his life.
Craig Stelz could run from here to Bruley and back and be full speed and never even breathe hard. But he got called out for not finishing, right?
Yeah. There's no way.
So like it became a thing, and Les should have stopped it. He should have stepped in, and be like, and he did eventually.
He did.
He did eventually because, like, he's like, all right, I know what's going on here. I let it go for a little bit. He did stop it. But, man, how many did we run? I mean, 30-something of these perfect 40. Full speed, after practice, full speed.
Middle August.
So, I mean, we're like it might have been like high 20s, but it felt like 30.
Guess
It got
what?
so bad. So many people, like IVs, passing out, cold tub, immediately like just jumping in with everything on. It got so bad that Jimbo and Bo had to get in front of the team
And apologize?
to the team at team meeting that night.
Hell yeah.
It was hard. Like Les saw it eventually. He knew what was happening, but it was like
He did, but
these
he
are
was going to let it
perfect 40s.
rad for a little bit because he was like, I'm getting extra work out of these guys.
They're like, look, Jimbo and Bo, like when they get mad,
We're talking about West Virginia and Youngstown, Ohio, two places like with a lot of grit that aren't going to back
and
down.
like look, some people get mad, and you're like, all right, dude. Like, all right, well, you look like a clown or whatever. Those people get mad, they're scary.
Yeah.
They are terrifying.
Yeah.
So
For
it's
how
like getting
small
in
Bo
between.
Pelini is, very skinny guy, not when he gets that look.
Oh yeah, like for a second there, if Miles, it would be like Miles like getting in between like two pit bulls fighting at that point.
Yeah.
Like,
So is this around the same time you guys were at LSU with that Will Muschamp video and like Nick Saban was like killing some guy?
That was after. That was
After-
2 years after that.
Okay.
Now we had our time
Yeah.
with those coaches.
So I'm like, how was that dynamic? Because outside
loved
looking
it.
at it,
I loved
looks
it.
crazy.
I loved it. That's what I respond to.
Mm-hmm.
Right, Taylor, you can pull that up if you want to, what Jordan's talking about. So for me, okay, that's what I respond to. Everybody takes coaching differently.
Yes.
There's some people, and EJ and I talk about this all the time on off campus. Like for EJ, he needed an attaboy. Like, he'll tell you, I needed an attaboy. I needed to be
Reassured.
reassured
yeah.
that, hey, you're doing a great. I wanted the coach to tell me how bad I was every
what's
day.
new?
I'm like, Will, I just moved to safety. I've never played this position in my life. I'm a freshman.
Just did not care.
That.
Coach,
Yeah. And I
just
love
put me
Will.
a
Will's
personal
awesome.
protector on punt.
You were a personal
bad.
protector on punt.
Because you're gonna be there in an actual game. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they wanted me back there because they knew I was like physically just more dominant than most people.
Which player do you think got more of those? Was it
on
Lionel?
defense,
He got some.
Lionel, yeah, he got a lot.
Some, man. God, Lionel's such a good dude. Why are you yelling at him like that?
Karan Gordon,
Yeah, Ryan Gordon got a lot of those.
but it was usually younger guys that were getting it. I mean,
Yeah.
they always are out there to prove a point to the freshies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll think of a better answer because I know there's somebody better that we're missing. I'm trying to think, like, Saban's guys were Corey Webster, Marcus Spears, and Jesse Daniels when I was here with them. Like, those three guys
Were safe.
They were safe. He loved them.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the linebacker core at that time, besides Lionel.
To your point, like, a lot of people that got those weren't names that everybody would know.
EJ Qualley.
Well, he got
I
some.
don't know who that guy is.
Do you remember the time he met Maxwell? We're playing against Mississippi
Maxwell
State,
got a
Jefferson Pilot game. We're up by 1,000 against Mississippi State, and Maxwell blocked somebody in the back on punt return or something, and Saban meets him at the hash,
Whoa.
Yeah.
grabs the face mask,
Yeah.
whispers sweet nothings to him, and just ripped him. I actually have somebody sent that to me.
I will say special teams caught a lot of that.
Yeah.
just because.
Cam Vaughn caught a lot of strays. I'm like, Cam's like the nicest human as well. Like, what are we doing?
Well, like special teams, you're just so susceptible to silly penalties. Like you see, I mean, even in the NFL, how many blocks in the backs you see every week?
A couple.
It's nauseating.
Man, it reminds me of just this year when Brian Kelly was getting on the snapper, like the long snapper just kept messing up. He's like, you got to get the bleeping snap together.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
And people were like,
Chris
oh, my
Hilton.
gosh, what is going on?
Oh, Chris Hilton? Yeah.
Yeah,
Chris
like,
Hilton.
yeah.
Stop jumping.
Go do that. What are we doing? Yes.
Yeah.
He's the coach. You messed up. He's going to get into you a little bit.
Yeah, and he's like trying to walk away from him and all that.
Oh, if you'd have walked, oof.
It's coach's job, push people further than they thought they could go.